So I want to take just a minute here and explain something to you. Many people don't know this. This is our general plan. And the general plan is important for a variety of reasons. It doesn't mean that's how big we are now. It means how big we can become. And so what typically cities do is they set up a boundary or a border. And this border, if you see the dotted line here, goes like this. Over here to the north is the Gila River Indian community. As you all know, you drive in on the 347. Okay? Here's the 238, which goes into the Maricopa Casa Grande Highway. On this side, what you have is the planning area of Casa Grande. So we touch them. We go all the way down to the I-8, which is right here. And then over here, we border with Goodyear, the city of Goodyear. Most people think that because this is what we know as Maricopa today, that that's all we are. And of course, I don't want to leave out the Akshan Indian community right here. This is a really, really important thing. I want you to keep this in your mind as you think about it. Because if you envision Maricopa becoming something great, then you have to understand that this can be 600, 700,000 people someday here. It's almost unrealistic. You almost are surprised that it can grow that big. Now, before you think I'm going to say we're not going after any big box stores, I want you to know that's not true. However, I do want you to understand that when you think of the big box store, just because you envision a store being here on every corner that looks of that size and that nature, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Because in the next decade, in the next century, we are seeing these stores, because of the internet, become smaller and smaller. They are becoming stores in which instead of occupying 100,000 square feet, they occupy 5,000 square feet. And you go into that store, and there's one of everything, but afterwards, you walk over to the kiosk, you place your order, and it's drop shipped to the store or to your house. You don't walk out with it that day. That, when we talk to these big box stores every single day, is what they are telling us they're moving to. So, in some respects, it puts an additional challenge on us. In others, it actually gives us the opportunity to not have to reinvent ourselves, but to do it right the first time. But we have to understand, I get calls from people that say, well, I don't think we need an overpass, and others that say, we absolutely need it. I can tell you that right now we have double tracking that's gone through the city of Maricopa. And in the next several years, as the ports of Los Angeles and San Diego and Guaymas and Mexico get more and more busy, then one of the things that is going to occur is that they are going to continue to need to ship eastward. And as they do this shipping, they currently have right-of-way for 4 tracks. Now think about that for a moment. If 60 to 80 trains pass a day through here now, and you complete the double tracking, that goes to 120, and they put in 3 tracks and 4 tracks, and it now is up to 200 trains, half of this city would be cut off. Remember that picture of the general plan that I showed you? This is the pinch point. This is the area in which if we do not solve this problem, the city and its future cannot happen. We absolutely have to fix this. And we need to do it for more than just the fact that everybody is tired of sitting and waiting for a train. We have to fix it because it's a public safety issue. We have policemen that can't get across in the case of emergency, or ambulances. We have people that have to sit at the Amtrak for 20, 30 minutes in the morning or in the afternoon, and they can't get to work, and it makes them late. I know, I experience this every day. And so it is something that we absolutely have to have. And in the CIP, we have $8 million set aside for this project. This allowed us this year to go from something that was not even considered in the State Department of Transportation to be moved to the front of the line, and we are hoping that by June of this coming year, we will be in the Arizona State Transportation Improvement Plan, called the TIP. And that TIP will allow us to now receive funding and therefore move towards the construction of this overpass. One of the things that has been studied and been studied for years is something called the East-West Corridor. And this is something that comes off the Hacienda framework study that takes the I-10 and links it to the city of Maricopa. Okay? This is, now you see it drop below, that is true, it doesn't go right to where Maricopa is on the map here, but again, we have to be thinking much like Mesa and Chandler and Scottsdale thought many years ago. Many of you may or may not know about I-11. You may have heard about it, you may not have. I-11 will change the face of Maricopa forever. Let me explain why. This is, in its concept, is intended to be a a transportation route between the only two major cities in the entire country that are not linked by a major freeway. That's Phoenix and Las Vegas. You have additional freeways you can get there by, but ultimately it's not a direct route. And so it completely impedes our ability from a north-south standpoint to succeed. And so the Future I-11 was recently approved through Congress, and as you can see this map here, this is the entire goal. See it going all the way to the ports in Guaymas down in Mexico, coming up through Arizona. Now there's some dissent as to which way it should go, but ultimately goes into Canada. This is so crucial, so crucial. It's crucial because as this path comes up the I-10 and splits and goes up somewhere near the Casa Grande area, it will come right through the planning area of Maricopa and off to our west. But what I want you to understand is that you cannot build a city, you cannot compete economically if you don't solve the problems. Okay? Let me give you an example. If I am a Best Buy and I want to come and I want to build right here in this corridor, this Cowtown corridor, and there's utilities there, and I have the ability to think that there's a lot of traffic coming by, it's great. I sit down and I do the numbers, and what I'm told is I have to bring my property out of the floodplain. In other words, I have to provide a floodplain solution. And so with that solution, I have to spend an extra $1 million to build my building and open my doors. Well, if I'm doing the number, that's right, if I'm doing the numbers, then what happens is I now have just put myself at a competitive disadvantage with the city of Chandler, the city of Mesa, the city of Phoenix. But something we might want to focus on is something like this, an engineering school. And you say to me, well, why do I want to do that? Well, it's really important because over the next 10 to 15 years, those are the percentages in each one of those categories of engineers that will be retiring from the industry. Okay? It is almost 50% of all engineers will be retiring. 50%, the entire country wide. These jobs pay on average over $100,000 a year. They bring in resources, they bring in technology. Why are we not going out there and attracting them? Why are we not seeking after them? Well, maybe we need to. But it's not the only way to find jobs. We have done as a council this year, we've instituted something called the Maricopa Center for Entrepreneurship. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's in short called a business incubator. We believe that if we're not going to wait around for someone to come to us, we're going to grow our own. Just like a good farmer does, we're going to plant the seed and we're together going to work towards a partnership in which we grow our own high-tech businesses. Now we can start out from a variety of different ways. Business incubators take people who are good at what they do and it leads them through the difficult process of being a business owner. And it takes them to the next level. And it puts them out there. And it makes them successful. And sometimes those business incubators even tell you when you need to get out of your own way. Because you can go from a $2 million a year business to a $30 million a year business if that's what you